Some people listen to themselves rather than what others say. These people don't come along very often, but when they do, they remind us that once you set out on a path, even if the world tells you you are crazy, that it's okay to have full conviction on an idea, to go all in on building something great, and to put all your cards on the table. They remind us to think bigger, to be more crazy, to take bigger risks. They remind us to always bet on yourself.
Alright guys, tell me if I'm wrong, but this intro feels a little too dramatic and polished for a man who might be the biggest chill guy in the entire history of the UFC.
Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
3 years?
Yes.
You're out of your mind. 2 weeks.
Хабиб, милый, скажи, пожалуйста, бой состоится с Флойдом?
Black belt, who give him that? We have to check that moment.
Stop. You crazy?
I introduce my team. This guy, Chanko, 2 times world professional Muay Thai champion.
Oh.
I eat, I sleepy, and I train.
And that simple, humble, slightly funny vibe, combined with his world-class skill set, became the key reason the American audience finally embraced him.
I'm here with the champion, ladies and gentlemen!
Maybe all of you guys can come to Dagestan and we celebrate together.
Yes, exactly, and it has nothing to do with religion. Islam fully earns that recognition for what he does in the cage and for the image he's built outside of it. But the path to that acceptance and to the biggest fight of his life was built on hardship, resistance, and relentless self-overcoming. The UFC's comeback to the Middle East in 2019 became a landmark moment for the promotion and for one team especially.
И на этот раз у меня 2 бойца в один вечер. Не знаю, вообще они не жалеют меня.
Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov cornered his son in the UFC for the first time. By then, Khabib had already captured the belt, defended it in the biggest fight the promotion had ever seen, and turned into one of the sport's main icons. But that night, Abdulmanap wasn't only there for Khabib, he was also cornering another person who played a huge role in his life.
Хабиба знал по школе, и потом узнал, что его отец тоже тренирует. И вот так начал ходить к Хабибу отцу, Абдулманапу.
We grew up together. He was my father's favorite student.
And their connection was far deeper than the usual coach and student relationship.
А Ислама Махачева он любил как сына. Говорил мне, что это самый талантливый из всех его воспитанников.
He just not my coach. He care about my life, not about just my sports career. He always take care about my life.
Вместе дома, с семьей, на сборах, на соревнованиях. Это уже больше, чем ученик и тренер.
Islam was more coachable than Khabib, and he always stuck to the game plan Abdulmanap set for him.
Ислам настолько четко мог выполнять мои сценарии боев, что мы с ним вместе обыгрывали. А Хабиб мог в бою начать выигрывать сам.
And just like his superstar training partner, Makhachev entered the UFC with a strong base behind him. Islam had a serious amateur background in combat sambo and a solid record in regional MMA promotions for such a young fighter. But expecting the same kind of quick rise in the UFC would have been a little too optimistic. In 4 years he fought 7 times, but never once faced a ranked opponent, even with the solid win streak. But heading into the Dubai event, Islam finally reached the lightweight rankings for the first time. And unlike Khabib, Makhachev didn't look invincible.
В моей работе я считаю самым большим провалом это я согласился с Хавьером Мендесом идти в обмен, когда дрался Ислам Макхачев.
In his second UFC fight, he stepped away from the game plan for almost the first time in his career.
Подошел Ислам, может быть, я пойду в обмен, буду рисковать. Я сказал, отдай первый раунд, но ни в коем случае нельзя идти в обмен. Он очень опасен в первом раунде.
But Islam still went along with the risky idea suggested by his striking coach, Javier Mendes.
Я не был согласен с этим планом. Ислам Макхачев рухнул, упал, это первое его поражение.
That loss, and we'll return to it later, became a key element in shaping Makhachev's fighting style. And even with that upset, Abdulmanap still viewed Islam as the true successor to Khabib.
He always told me, Islam, just keep training hard. I know one day you're gonna be champion.
And this wasn't just blind faith in a really talented student. Abdulmanap had a concrete plan.
He told me, I don't remember, when you're gonna finish, Islam have to come. Like you finish and Islam come, it's have to be like on the same time.
Abdulmanap told us Khabib is gonna be champion, and when he retired, he told everybody Islam will come and take the belt.
Islam was the one who had to secure the legacy of Dagestani school and prove that Khabib's rise to the top was no accident.
Я ему сказал, мы здесь будем лучше и надолго. Но что он прилично с хохотом смеялся. Мы здесь будем чемпионами и надолго в этом весе.
But with no top fighters willing to take a risky matchup against a dangerous unranked prospect, Islam's push toward the top of the division slowed down far more than expected. Meanwhile, Khabib was rapidly closing in on a long-awaited milestone.
I told Islam, you're a little bit late, brother. You only top 10, top 9. This time, he's supposed to be on top 3.
But UFC 242 was supposed to change everything, and Islam was more ready than ever.
For the winner by
Khabib defended his belt with confidence, and Islam extended his win streak. After that victory, the matchmakers finally promised him a serious opponent from the upper half of the rankings for the following year.
Because a lot of people can. Thank you, brother.
It felt like everything was lining up, and 2020 could become the year that completed Abdulmanap's plan. But life forced its own changes to that plan.
Нам неизвестно, сколько человек проживет. Мы должны быть готовы сегодня, завтра, чтобы нас понесли, хоронить. Мы должны быть готовы к этому. И ничего страшного в этом нет. Мы в мир приходим и уходим.
Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov passed away due to complications stemming from COVID-19.
Ну, я не знаю, это не описать словами, какая это потеря. Это, наверное, не как-то вот почувствовал, проходит, а это будет на протяжении всей карьеры какая-то пустота.
After what happened, a lot of things changed.
We lose not just coach, we lose like second father for the whole team.
And that loss triggered a series of setbacks. COVID travel issues, past injuries catching up with him, an infection at the worst possible moment. And the fight with RDA falling apart twice. As a result, Islam missed the whole of 2020.
This is a very hard time, not just for me, for all team.
Khabib, meanwhile, retired at the end of the year, just one win short of the goal he and his father had been working towards.
Today, it was my last fight. And no way I'm gonna come here without my father.
Dagestan lost its champion, the belt moved to Brazil. The father's plan was left unfinished.
Что теперь будет с командой? Есть ли человек, который однозначно займет его место и будет человеком, который будет явно во главе всей команды?
Ну, я думаю, только у Кhabиба, наверное, получится, если он этим займется. Я думаю, Khabib сможет.
Как думаешь, будет Khabib этим заниматься?
Думаю, нет. Хабиб тоже всю свою жизнь в спорте и уже устал, наверное.
But in that moment of grief, Islam may have missed one crucial detail. The father's plan was never just about raising a son champion and then replacing him with his favorite students.
His plan was to invest people.
But what did that really mean?
26 years ago, when we just moved from village to capital city, and my father beginning investing people. At that time, we don't have money. We was not champions. We have nothing. You know, we was like kids, and it was like 15 small guys around him, you know, and we was living in like this big house.
Just father try to invest everything what they have, time, energy, money.
Morning somebody go school, somebody go college, somebody go university, but every morning and night we was training like army.
Sleep, train, eat, repeat, and that's it.
And so many people come from this gym, become champions, become famous, become rich, become strong, and now these people help to other people. This is what we call father's plan, you know.
And could Khabib truly leave it all behind without continuing the path his closest person had started?
He was helping people to become better.
And especially walk away at a moment when another person just as close to him was stuck halfway to the title.
We are not sparring partners. Our relationship is much different and completely different. We have brotherhood.
In the toughest situation of his career.
Высший результат, он стоит нервов, он стоит крови, он стоит всего, но надо держаться.
He believed me. That's why I have to be champion one day.
That's why I have to finish what my father began,
and I follow my father's plan.
The team reset and entered 2021 with renewed energy and with an even stronger motivation, driven by the memory of someone they had lost.
Islam Makhachev submits over. Wow. By submission due to a rear naked choke, Islam Makhachev.
He climbed to the number 5 in the rankings, but finding opponents was still a struggle.
2020, very crazy years. I lose a lot of my close friends, close people. Now I cannot be quiet. Please, I need some top guy. I will be ready for anyone, please.
After a year and a half of inactivity, Islam had made major improvements to his ground game, and he also became more composed and patient on the feet. And on top of that, he made serious progress with his English.
Somebody take my gift. Call police.
Call police!
Yes.
Still, fighting in the cage mattered far more to him than studying a new language. Islam wanted 2 more fights before the end of the year.
Please, guys, help me find somebody.
By late October, the long-awaited bout with RDA was booked once again, and once again it collapsed for the 3rd time. But fortunately for Islam, the replacement wasn't an unranked nobody. On short notice, he was matched with the number 6 ranked lightweight. Number 4 in rankings, 3 finishes in 6 months, 9 wins in a row. The exact same streak as the reigning champion. But the UFC still didn't see it as enough for a title shot. Instead, Islam was matched with Benil Dariush, another top contender riding an impressive win streak of his own. This time there were no excuses, no debates. It was officially a title eliminator. And then history repeated itself. Just like 6 months earlier, Makhachev lost his opponent only days before the fight. And this time there was no top contender willing or able to step in on such short notice.
Wow. Islam Makhachev, it's another finish in the first round.
10 wins in a row, more than anyone else in the UFC except the dominant welterweight champ and the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter at the time. Now only Poirier and Gaethje stood above him, and both had already missed their chances.
All my life I know I training so hard for this moment.
I watch all his life, last 20 years, the way how he works so hard. And now almost time, you know.
His entire career comes down to this moment on Saturday night.
My belt for my coach, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. Many years ago, he told me, just training hard and you gonna be champion. I wanna give this belt. Him and his father make me. I can strike, I can wrestle, I can do grappling, anything. I'm a best MMA fighter in the world.
What truly defines the best fighter in the world? Is it physique, speed, maybe knockout power. Actually, it's something way more subtle. The ability to understand your own vulnerability even when you are a dominant champ.
Любой может тебя остановить, и сильный соперник, и слабый соперник. Просто любой может попасть, и бой может остановить.
Just look at Islam's only loss. He was young, hungry and full of energy. He was training with the elite, going through camps with legendary coaches. He spent years side by side with Khabib, hungry to break into the top rankings as fast as possible.
Я был в очень хорошей форме, думал, буду на него бежать, бороться, бить. Думал, я буду идти вперед, что меня никто не остановит. После этого я уже понял, что не надо спешить. Надо аккуратно драться.
And that's lucky punch from Adriano Martins, a fighter who never won another bout after that night, ended up shaping the path of the Islam Makhachev we see today. A champion with a truly elite fight IQ, a champion whose defense and ability to minimize damage are at a historical level, especially considering the level of opposition he faces.
Ислам настолько четко мог выполнять мои сценарии боев, что мы с ним вместе обыгрывали.
And over time, he only improved his adaptability and ability to switch game plans based on instructions from the corner.
Whenever Khabib tells him to do something, or I tell him, he'll do it. He's always listened to us. He's the greatest fighter that I've ever trained that actually listens to corner advice more than anybody.
Distance management, counters, discipline, patience. Unlike so many brawlers, Islam never jumps into wild exchanges without a setup. He's totally fine with a boring round if it means fighting his range, but he won't get caught by a stupid punch. His whole style is about minimizing risk. Although, looking at it from another angle, with such elite level grappling, true risk minimization would mean spending the vast majority of every round on the ground. But that feels almost too easy. Definitely easier than leveling up your striking to go toe-to-toe and even outstrike the 2 or 3 most dangerous strikers across 2 weight divisions. But anyway, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves just yet.
There is levels on this game. There is fighters, there is champions, there is elite. Islam is elite.
So what do truly elite fighters do once they reach the top? They climb higher, every single time. The pound for pound #1 king? Sure, why not? A rematch with a former champ who just flatlined the contender you came up the ranks alongside. Let's do it! What's that? Oliveira pulls out 10 days before the fight and they throw a walk at you again. The man who gave you the toughest fight of your life? Brother, doesn't matter. Best boxer in the division fighting for his last shot at the belt? Let's dance! Fate has fully repaid Islam. For years he couldn't get decent opposition, which made so many people doubt his true level. But these last 18 months of battling pure killers proved everything to everyone. And Islam is transforming into one of the UFC's biggest superstars. And while he'll never take comparisons to Khabib seriously in terms of greatness, because as a true younger brother he refuses to separate his success from his mentor's guidance, when it comes to jokes, memes and iconic moments, Islam has definitely surpassed his coach.
If you want your son high-level wrestling, send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
Then Dustin Poirier is a black belt.
Black belt? Who give him that?
By the end of 24, the UFC officially announced the rematch, Makhachev vs Tsarukyan. Rewind 5 years, at the event in St. Petersburg, Islam once again couldn't get an opponent, and the promotion literally had signed young Arman just so one of their biggest prospects wouldn't be left without a fight on home soil. And that kid showed up and gave Islam a real test. Since then, Arman put together a strong win streak, had a controversial loss to Gamrot and built a new run, this time beating top opposition from the upper tier of the rankings. Since Islam became champion, this was supposed to be his first challenger with such raw physical strength and elite grappling and wrestling. It was hard to imagine a more intriguing, high-stakes way to kick off 2025, but you already know what happened next, and those who don't, you can probably guess. Islam's collection of opponents who pulled out got a new addition, but this time this was egregious. Just 24 hours before the fight,
Islam said, brother, I am the champion. I don't care who it is. I will fight anyone. Stepping in to face Islam Makhachev for the title will be Renato Moicano.
Manny Moicano is coming for the belt. Be ready, Islam Makhachev.
So after that win, Islam became the first UFC fighter in history to defend his title 4 times in one of the most stacked divisions ever. Plus, he was now just one victory away from tying the Spider's seemingly unbreakable win streak record. But most importantly, Islam once again fulfilled the prophetic words of his late coach.
Я ему сказал, мы здесь будем лучше и надолго. Но что он прилично с хохотом смеялся.
Now you know, Dana, now you know.
So what's next? Time for a new challenge.
This is a dream for all fighters to get second belt, you know. I believe my skills and I know I can be double champion in UFC.
However, a potential move up was put on hold on that moment, because on mid-24, the welterweight belt went to Belal Muhammad, someone closely connected to Islam's team. So that matchup was simply impossible. A strong enough wrestler for this division with a solid cardio and a durable chin. With all the mess in the division after Kamaru's era ended, it really felt like Belal was the guy to take the throne and keep it for a while. At the same time, Islam had a major challenger emerging at lightweight. A massive matchup that the UFC and obviously the fans wanted to see far more than risking one of their biggest stars in dangerous quest for a second belt. So the noise settled, and with the UFC pushing from behind, Ilya Topuria began hyping the biggest fight of his career. But then came late spring, and we were all hit with one of the most moronic decisions in the history of this sport.
I'm gonna outbox Jack. I'm not gonna shoot one takedown, and I'm gonna show him the meaning of Canelo hand.
If you guys watch Canelo, Marquez, all those guys, Belal has the hands like that right now.
So I'm gonna show the UFC fighters, the fans, that I'm the best boxer in the UFC, the best boxer in the welterweight division.
A decision that likely robbed us of the fight of the decade, yet somehow brought Makhachev even closer to GOAT status. So now the road to 170 was finally open, but to navigate the path to greatness correctly, Islam had to consider several crucial details. First, the opponent. In this new division, awaiting Islam was not just a bigger, heavier man, but a fighter who hadn't tasted defeat in nearly a decade.
Very tough opponent for us. Madalena самый сложный соперник в Ислама карьере.
JDM is one of the UFC's premier prospects, a man the promotion is betting the house on to replace the aging Walk as the face of the Australian market. He is one of the best boxers on the current roster, a striker who has no fear of being taken down, because he has mastered the art of getting back up. Yes, every UFC opponent with even semi-competent wrestling gave him trouble, but he stood up from under every single one of them.
Грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели.
And it was precisely in that transition, seizing the initiative the moment he got back to his feet, that he rocked Gilbert Burns with a knee to win his title eliminator. But here is the crux of the matter: Jack had never faced a grappler of such elite level before. Plus, JDM is a natural welterweight, and even next to Islam, who struggles to bulk up, he wouldn't look massive. Yes, at 34 years old, Makhachev committed to a radical change. For the first time, he had to sweat more over gaining weight than cutting it. And this bulk had been executed perfectly to ensure Islam's cardio didn't suffer. After all, more muscle demands more oxygen. This meant their team had to calculate the workload with surgical precision. They needed to find the delicate balance, avoid overloading him or making him muscle bound, too stiff, too slow, gasping for air, while still packing on enough legitimate mass and strength to pin down larger opponents, to torment them with control and leave them zero freedom on the ground.
Маленькая ошибка будет стоить всего.
And as those pivotal 25 minutes showed, the most important 25 minutes of Islam's career, he and his team handled this new experience brilliantly. Do you guys fully realize what happened on that day? Or even on the day Islam and his team finally committed to 170. Khabib and his father always emphasized the critical importance of timing in a fighter's life.
In this sport you have to be very hungry, or other way like someone gonna come and hurt you.
Должен понимать, что Есть голодные, есть молодые.
All my life I travel everywhere, but very soon I have maybe 3-4 years and I'm gonna be more with my family.
I think maybe like 34 Islam can finish.
He always said the most important thing is to leave the sport on your own terms, before someone else carries you out.
When you become 35, you need to start doing this because leave this sport for young guys. Because when you become 35 and you don't finish, somebody gonna finish.
And here is Islam, already at the age Khabib predicted for his retirement, moving up into a new division, arguably the most competitive weight class in the entire UFC right now. The place packed with the most young, hungry killers. This isn't just another big challenge like he's faced before. This is an entirely different level of test, of risk, of pressure, of responsibility. You know, it's not like when some random fighter moves up just because it's trendy today. When every other guy screams about some imaginary legacy and plans to move up after one title defense, or sometimes before even defending it once. That stuff is laughable. Those guys have nothing to lose. But do you understand the way of responsibility a man takes on in Islam's position? In a sport where a single mistake, one solitary defeat can cross out years of triumphs, can erase all your records and accolades, all the sacrifice, blood and sweat left in the gym. Islam could have easily just set out his athletic old age at lightweight, beat 2 or 3 more smaller guys, break the Spider's win streak record and cement his name as the undisputed greatest lightweight in history, someone who had never ever be displaced. And that is true greatness, to decide, to risk it all, to try a completely new experience in preparation at the sunset of your career and to win so brilliantly. And on top of that, to extend your athletic life by a few years by ditching the grueling weight cut.
Today I feel this is my weight division and I'm gonna defend my belt many times more. Когда я пришел, можно сказать, просто обычным школьником, у которого даже в голове не было стать каким-то большим чемпионом, добиться каких-то больших успехов, я просто пришел, чтобы научиться драться, чтобы уметь постоять за себя. Ну, он видел в человеке потенциал.
То, что сделал я историю для своей малой родины и России, и во всем мире для смешанного единоборства, я считаю, я сполна отдал себя. И мои воспитанники показали это.
Единственный момент, что мы вместе не смогли до конца пройти этот путь, и что он не увидел этот день, когда я стал чемпионом.